Hello everybody, my name is Igor Landi, and today on my podcast I'm going to talk about the two biggest wars going on right now around the world. I'm going to start with the most recent war in Israel and Palestine, and I'm going to finish with the war between Ukraine and Russia. To understand what is going on in Israel and Palestine, we firstly need to know their history. The history of Israel and Palestine is complex, so I try to simplify it. A very long time ago, the region we now know as Israel and Palestine had various rulers, such as the Romans. As we fast forward to the late 1800s, a movement called Zionism began aiming for a homeland for Jewish people in Palestine. After World War I, Britain took charge of the area. However, tensions between Arab and Jewish groups led to conflicts. In 1947, the United Nations proposed dividing the land into separate Jewish and Arab parts. This resulted into the creation of Israel in 1948, sparking the Arab-Israeli War. Some conflicts, like the Six-Day War in 1967 and the Yom Kippur War in 1973, complicated matters further. These wars led to Israel gaining control over additional territories. In the 1990s, efforts were made to find peace, such as the Oslo Accords. They aimed to address disagreements about land and refugees, but implementing them faced significant challenges. The ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflicts revolves around issues of land ownership, national identity, and coexistence. The historical story of this region involves a complete mix of cultures, religions, and geopolitical factors, contributing to the enduring challenges faced by both Israelis and Palestinians. Finding a resolution remains a complex task in the face of historical complexities and contemporary geopolitical dynamics. In recent years, tensions between Israel and Palestine escalated into conflicts. The conflict revolves around disputes over territory, historical claims, and the right of both Israelis and Palestinians. The situation worsened when violence erupted, leading to a full-scale war started by the Hamas terrorists that attacked Israel. The conflict has caused suffering and displacement, with both Israeli and Palestinian civilians bearing violence. The loss of lives, destruction of homes, and displacement of families have created a humanitarian crisis in the region. The international community has expressed deep concern about the impact of the conflict on innocent civilians. The war has also strained diplomatic relations globally, with various countries taking sides or calling for a peaceful resolution. Efforts to cease fire have been ongoing. The conflict has become a focal point for discussion on regional stability and peace in the Middle East. The effects of the Israel-Palestine conflict extend beyond the region, influencing geopolitical dynamics and global security. The international community has problems with finding a sustainable solution that addresses the root causes of the conflict and ensures the right of both Israelis and Palestinians. The war's impact on the war includes heightened tensions, increased refugee flows, and concerns about the potential for the conflict to escalate further. Efforts by the United Nations and other organizations to promote peace continue, but it remains challenging. Now I am going to talk about how the war has been going on in the recent months. The war started the 7th of October of 2023, when the terrorist group of Hamas launched thousands of missiles from the Gaza Strip to central regions of Israel. At the same time, Palestinian soldiers crossed the border and began attacking Israel. The terrorists killed over 1,200 civilians and over 1,000 were hurt. The fight is still going on even today. Let's move on to the next war. The ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine has been going on since 2014. A series of escalating tensions has manifested in armed clashes between Ukrainian forces and pro-Russian rebels, who receive support from Moscow. The hostilities unfold across the landscape with territorial bombings and confrontations between the opposing forces. Cities and villages in the Donbas region bear witness to a conflict that has caused extensive damage to critical infrastructure, compromised civilian security, and strained the social fabric of the affected communities. This complex situation is marked by the presence of regular military forces, local militias, and allegation of indirect involvement by Russian troops. The information flow from the region is often limited and subject to varying interpretations, creating challenges in obtaining a comprehensive and understandable knowledge of the event transpiring on the ground. Diplomatic efforts and attempts to secure a ceasefire have been recurrent, yet the situation remains volatile, underscoring the challenges of finding a lasting solution. The international community continues to call for a peaceful end to the conflict, engaging in ongoing meetings and negotiations. However, a comprehensive and sustainable solution has proven really hard to accept. The conflict's problems on the locals has caused thousands displaced and civilian casualties. The humanitarian situation is complicated there. There are a lot of problems in accessing aid and relief operations in the conflict-affected areas. Technology and social media have played a dual role, aiding in the dissemination of information while concurrently fueling propaganda from both sides. This dynamic has become more difficult to understand. The repercussions on international relations have caused divisions between Western nations and Russia. Economic sanctions and restrictions have been imposed by several countries in response to Russian actions. In conclusion, the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine represents a formidable and evolving challenge, addressing the dimension of this crisis. The situation underscores the critical importance of international collaboration and diplomatic dialogue in fostering stability and preventing further escalation. Achieving a sustainable and peaceful resolution requires a delicate balance between the geopolitical interests at play and a genuine commitment to addressing the humanitarian concerns. It is an arduous journey that demands continued collective effort and engagement on the part of the global community. Now, let's see how the war has been going on. The land captured by Russia in Ukraine is a lot. Russia got Crimea in 2014, but recently the Russian troops invaded and launched missiles and bombs on Ukrainian cities. Russia took control of most of the Ukrainian land that touched the Black Sea, and in the eastern part they captured cities like Donetsk. In the northern part of Ukraine the Russians tried to attack, but the Ukrainian troops managed to defend their land. This was all that happened in Ukraine since today. This was all that happened in the two most important and biggest wars going on right now around the world. This was my podcast. Tell me if you liked it, and I hope to see you again.